Imagine carrying a backpack that gets heavier every year, not because life keeps putting rocks inside it, because you keep adding them yourself. A mistake from high school, an argument from last month, a decision you regret, a conversation that hasn't even happened yet. According to The Power of Now, this is how many people spend their lives, physically living in the present, mentally living everywhere else. And the biggest lesson this book teaches is surprisingly simple. Life only happens now, not yesterday, not next week, not after you finally reach your goals. Right now. That sounds obvious, but if we're honest, most of us spend very little time actually living there. A student worries about exams that are still months away. An employee replays an awkward meeting from last year. An entrepreneur imagines a business failure that hasn't happened. A creator refreshes analytics every 10 minutes searching for certainty. The mind constantly asks, what happens next? But life keeps answering, right now. Personally, I think this is why so many people feel exhausted even when nothing terrible is happening. They're fighting battles that exist only in imagination. One of the most powerful ideas in the book is this: you are not your thoughts. If a cloud moves across the sky does not become the cloud. Thoughts move through awareness in exactly the same way. The thought says, what if I fail? What if they judge me? What if this doesn't work? Most people immediately become the thought. The book invites us to do something different. Observe it, notice it, watch it arrive, watch it leave. Because the observer and the thought are not the same thing. Here's what most people get wrong about this idea. The book isn't asking you to stop thinking. Planning is useful. Preparation is useful. Thinking becomes suffering when it turns into endless mental rehearsals of problems that don't exist yet. The goal isn't an empty mind. The goal is a mind that works for you instead of against you. The book introduces another concept called the pain body. You can think of it as emotional momentum. Old anger searching for a new argument. Old insecurity searching for proof. Old fear searching for another disaster. Have you ever noticed how one bad email suddenly reminds you of 10 older problems? That's the pain body collecting fuel. The author argues that awareness interrupts the cycle. You cannot fight emotional storms by creating larger emotional storms, but you can notice them. And what is noticed begins to lose control over you. Another lesson feels incredibly relevant for modern life. Many people no longer live in moments. They live in notifications. The phone vibrates. The attention moves. The email arrives. The mind jumps. Hours disappear. Some people spend dinner with their family while mentally living inside tomorrow's schedule. The body sits at the table. The mind sits somewhere else entirely. One example that stayed with me while reading this book is watching children play. Children don't ask whether they're maximizing productivity. They aren't worrying about retirement accounts. They're simply inside the experience. Ironically, adults often spend decades trying to return to a state children naturally understand. The book also explores relationships. Many arguments are not actually happening between two people. They're happening between two egos trying to protect identities. I'm right. You're wrong. You never listen. You always do this. The present moment disappears. The ego takes control. But when one person pauses and observes instead of reacting, something interesting happens. The conflict often loses energy, not because the problem disappeared, because the fuel disappeared. Another idea from the book changed how I think about acceptance. Acceptance is not surrender. Acceptance is not approval. Acceptance simply means seeing reality before arguing with reality. Traffic exists, rain falls, markets move, plans fail. Flights get delayed. Reality has already voted. The mind arrives later and starts debating the result. And according to the book, this resistance creates a second layer of suffering that is often larger than the original event. Here's what many readers misunderstand. The power of now is not teaching passivity. You can accept reality and still improve it. You can accept rain and still carry an umbrella. You can accept losing a job and still search for another one. Acceptance is seeing clearly. Action comes after clarity, not before it. One practical exercise from the book is surprisingly simple. Several times a day ask yourself, am I okay right now? Not next year. Not after the promotion. Not after the relationship improves. Right now. Very often the answer is yes. And that realization can feel strangely powerful. The biggest lesson I took from this book is this: your mind will always try to convince you that life begins later, after the business succeeds, after the channel grows, after the house, after the money. But life keeps giving the same answer. Life is happening now. So here's my question for you. How much of your stress belongs to this moment? And how much belongs to stories about moments that haven't arrived yet?
Hey everyone! Don't forget to like this video, share it with all of your friends, and hit that big subscribe button right now. Drop your comments down below.